What screams I am very smart? A license plate that says 180 IQ. Classic sneakers. Jimmy Neutron when nobody is around. Sodium chloride. Brain blast. Someone who isn't. Oh. So irony. But with more screaming. Unironically, being able to learn skills independently and apply them to whatever task you need to perform. Ironically, normally, I'd say overconfidence or one-upping. But I've seen this in really smart people too. But any hint of pride about one's own ignorance is a solid indicator. And apply them to whatever task you need to perform. That is usually what really impresses me. I have a lot of interesting, but ultimately useless, knowledge. It's all well and good to know things. But to know how to use that knowledge to do something is fantastic. IMO. Overconfidence and one-upping is more of a measure of social acumen, not intelligence. Listening instead of trying to talk all the time. See? Now I can't tell if OP is asking what ironically or actually screams I am very smart. The responses here are a mishmash of both. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. This is the biggest one for me. Truly intelligent individuals don't feel the need to justify it by talking all the time. And understand that active listening usually leads to better conversation and learning. I also need to learn to do this more. Me when someone doubts my smartness. Let me just take the time to cogniciously recognize your intelligence is actually true. Not accepting when they are wrong or don't know something. A truly smart person will accept when they are wrong or if they need help understanding something. Source: I'm an idiot surrounded by smart people. One thing that really burns me up is when people call you an idiot for being wrong. Rub your nose in it. I think this is why many hesitate to admit fault. For fear of the backlash it will cause. The Dunning-Kruger effect is real. The more you think you know, the less you actually know. Unless you're considered a leading mind in the field. This to me is wisdom more so than smartness. I know plenty highly intelligent people who are also the most arrogant DS around. When they brag about their IQ. Most smart people I know don't really care. My brother-in-law took the Myers-Briggs personality test and kept bragging that he had the top 1% personality. The test does not rank personalities. It probably said that only 1% of people have that same personality. Which is a good thing. I definitely do not want a personality as shy is to be more common. Dude. My IQ is a 4.0. You can brag when you got a 100 like I did though. Perfect score. I tutor middle and high schoolers. So my answer is them. I also tutor kids. Aged 5-18. And I absolutely agree. Some kids are just too dumb to realize they're not the smartest person alive. Using your IQ as an argument to validate your point. Just recently I saw an argument on Twitter and the one person was like, I have an IQ of 130. That's in the top 2% of humanity. It's pretty clear who is right here. Gosh. I hate those people. Yeah, you can totally be smarter than someone else. And still be wrong. Also every free IQ test on the internet tells you you're a genius so they can try to upsell you on a book of geniuses with your name in it. Stephen Hawking called people who boast IQs idiots. Assless chaps. Chaps are assless. The other things are called pants. People who needlessly use complex vocabulary to describe simple things. For example, using sodium chloride instead of salt. Dihydrogen monoxide. Except when you're in a chemistry lab and need to distinguish which type of salt you're talking of. Oh geez. I've been guilty of using a big word when a little one will do. A bit of the old grandiloquence. But if someone says sodium chloride when they mean salt and they aren't making a joke, I'm just gonna have to walk out of the room because nothing worthwhile is going to happen in a room that has that person in it. T-Hearties W-Hat-I-Saride. S-O-D-I-U-M-C-H-L-Oride. Neil deGrasse Tyson. Pushed off a bridge? He'll probably mention that it is not falling that kills you. But the sudden stop at the ground. Actually smart? Nothing screams that. Thinking of the 3 smartest people I know, my wife, my best friend, and another really close friend, former roommate. They keep things really low-key. But they have this aura that they really know what they are talking about. But being smart also doesn't define them. They are comfortable with that part of themselves. Negatively, people who try way too hard to act like they know everything. It's okay. No one knows everything. You don't have to be an authority on the 100 Years' War and leptons, just pulling those out of thin air. Learning stuff is cool. Also, anything they don't know is dumb and irrelevant. So they are the authority on everything that matters. The smartest of the people that I know have a following traits. Actually think before speaking. Doesn't mind explaining anything multiple times. Shy away when someone comments on his/her intelligence. They are humble and always recognizes their mistakes. There are probably more, but that's what I can point out right now. Edit actually meant humbled. As in, accepting or recognizing someone else's authority over theirs. Posting a comment that is nothing but a link to I'm very smart. Does my cousin count? He loves to scream it. I know a smart person. He's the only one I can think of at the moment. He doesn't really give a He gardens. He cooks. He does his thing and he doesn't constantly talk about other people. He's super interesting if you talk to him about his interests and you can actually have a conversation with him. Just a normal, quiet guy who no one would pay attention to. I miss having him around since he moved to another state. Haven't really found another smart person since. I like people like that. Just chill and do their own thing free of any judgment. Solving Rubik's Cubes. I learned to do it in a day and I'm an idiot. It's just memorizing patterns and when to do them. Movie make you believe that people who solve Rubik's Cubes are some kind of intellectual prodigy, but it's just building up the muscle memory. Yeah, I mean they're literally child toys. Sure. If you learn someone else's procedure by rote, developing an algorithm from scratch, however, is no small feat and requires either a formidable ability to store and manipulate interlinked information, or commendable patience. When I was a kid, my mom bought me one thinking it would make me smarter. 3 days into owning it, I pulled off all the little square colored stickers and reapplied them. Problem solved. Rumor has it, I'm still an absolute mouth breather till this day. Khaki pants and a bowl cut. I dated that guy for a minute. He got some kind of engineering degree when he was like 19. Managed to retire at 40. Became an RN. Then took a $15 hour job he didn't need, where he constantly told everyone about his degrees and drove an $80 BMW. He was like a very confused robot. Honestly, that kid in class who asks a question that's not on topic just to show off to the class how much he knows. TBH, when I was in school I constantly used to ask my teachers unusual questions related to what we were learning because I was genuinely curious. This is why people get bored of school, because there's no exploration of knowledge, just following the damn trail. I can't remember what it was I asked, but I remember my teacher going, "That's an A-level question," and after gritting my teeth for the 100th time I just snapped and said, "Okay, can I have an A-level answer?" She sent me out the room. The kid in my first Mad Lab class talking about how it was a dumb class cause he can already program Pong. Can you program a fixed bed reactor, you little Well, we both can now. Getting 3 questions right on regular Jeopardy. Buying food based on price per weight rather than the size of the packaging and assuming that bigger comes with better value. In European supermarkets they have to list the price per kg as well. So it isn't really that hard to pick the cheapest. Szechuan sauce. Arunedbethafandom. The science jokes I see on my Facebook wall that are only funny because people want to show off the fact that they have an interest in science. This is not me bashing science, or having an interest in it. But the jokes seriously are effing awful. It hinkilo in electron. I'd tell you a chemistry joke, but all the good ones are gone. Can I say watching Rick and Morty, or is that meme dead now? Ah yes. Richard and Mortimer. A show in which you require approximately 200 IQ to properly enjoy. Rick and Morty is just R-rated adventure time, which is a goddamn compliment. When they say it's Leviosa, not Leviosa. Ron Stewart. Initially I was contemplating offering a retort to this posting. However, I ponder the original content creator will be intellectually unable to comprehend the wittiness of my intellectual dialect. In short, you are pedantic and sophomoric. Like that. I do find this quite useful for irritating those that have shown the clear lack of mental capacity to easily comprehend the particular obnoxious intellectual tone of the writing, usually demonstrated by them through the uttering of an offensive or ignorant series of phrases. Yeah, I do see it now. Mensa membership. Love in Stargate Atlantis when a character bragged about being in Mensa, then all the scientist characters proceeded to mock him for it, lol. Interrupting the lecture to ask a question that is really intended to demonstrate to everyone how much you already know about the subject. Excuse me, professor, but if what you are saying is true, wouldn't there be an evolutionary driving force to maintain Pax genes across different clades in spite of how divergent their morphology appears? This happens a lot at academic type conferences. Frequent unsolicited advice or corrections to conversations. I believe you meant critiques. Yes, this was sarcasm. Contemplating the beauty and bleakness of reality, sitting there, in sonder, acknowledging your indifference to it all, and universe looking back at you the same, grasping the subtle commentary of Rick and Morty, and laughing not because it's ridiculous, but because you relate, using perfunctory phrasing as a way to elucidate your thoughts to others, while being completely counterproductive at effective communication. My friends who barely passed basic high school math and science, talking about quantum physics and other subjects that are way over the heads of 98% of the population, because they read Neil deGrasse Tyson's Astrophysics for Dummies books or whatever they're called, and are suddenly experts. At least they have an interest, which is a great way to start. But I don't know what type of book this is. If it's like law of attraction books content and not scientific, and usually you have to know basic stuff in order to not become a conspiracy theorist and believe everything. So I would be annoyed too. If you're dumb, surround yourself with smart people. If you're smart, surround yourself with smart people who disagree with you. Screaming, I am very smart.